I wanted to make a video on gabapentin because quite a few people have asked me about it and my experiences with gabapentin, and I know a lot of you have either taken it or have a doctor that prescribed it to you or somebody that recommended that maybe it would help you on your path to healing. And I just wanted to share what my experience with it was, so maybe it could help somebody else out there. So I was given gabapentin when I first came off of benzos. And the doctors at the rehab facility where I was at, I think were just kind of giving it to everybody to help alleviate their withdrawal symptoms. So it was just kind of standard protocol. I think that everybody got gabapentin, and myself included. So they started me off on 1,400 milligrams of gabapentin a day. Gabapentin is supposed to help so that you don't go into seizure. So that's what I was given. And it really took me out of that psychosis place that I was in. And it gave me, I think, just enough coherence so that I could start to get some semblance of just going through a normal day-to-day routine. Because for me, I was in a treatment center with 150 other people. And so it was very difficult just to even walk down the hallway and go down to the cafeteria and get something to eat, because just the noise and the amount of chaos and busyness in that place was so much on my nervous system at that time. It was almost unbearable. So I remember at one point there was a technician who worked there who was kind enough just to walk into the cafeteria and grab me a banana and a couple other little things, I think, and just bring them out to me so that I could have lunch and not have to walk into the cafeteria with 150 other people. Because like I said, it's just, unless you've been through it, to know what it feels like to walk into a room that's just noise, and it just completely, it was utter confusion and chaos to my nervous system at the time, and I couldn't do it. So the gabapentin gave me enough sea legs underneath me where I think I could try to function on a very simple basis one day at a time. And I still had extreme anxiety. I still had so many horrific symptoms, but I didn't have the psychosis. Gabapentin brought me out of the psychosis that I was experiencing when I first came off of Klonopin. And so in that way, for me, I'm very thankful and grateful to gabapentin that it gave me enough semblance to, as the doctor said, give myself a softer landing and kind of ease into my healing journey from there on out. So I took gabapentin for 3 years at 1,200 milligrams a day, and then I started weaning off of it at 100 milligrams a month. And I tried to go off of it earlier. I think within the first year or two, I tried to come off of gabapentin. And I noticed that when I did try, my more severe symptoms came back, and I just wasn't able to do it. It wasn't time yet. And so it was scary, because I thought, I don't want to be addicted or dependent on anything. I came off of all this other stuff, and I don't want to be dependent on gabapentin now. But, I just gave myself time, and like I said, I stayed on it for 3 years, and it helped me. And then after those 3 years, I said, okay, let's try it. Let's see if I can come off this stuff. And I did at 100 milligrams a month. So, I went down from 1,200 to 1,100 to 1,000, 900. And then when I got kind of down to that last 100 milligrams, it was pretty tough. And so I think I stayed on that for quite a few more months. So it took me over a year to come off of gabapentin, and the symptoms that I experienced coming off of gabapentin were nothing near the ones I had coming off of Klonopin. Klonopin was much, much harder. I mean, that's putting it mildly. The symptoms that I had coming off of Klonopin, I could make another video about. But coming off of gabapentin still was challenging. I still experienced anxiety. I experienced some of my nerve pain come back, some dizziness and some other things. But you know, it wasn't easy, but it was manageable. It was very manageable, and I knew that I had taken it for a specific reason and for a purpose, and that it served a purpose for me. And, you know, now I think about it, you know, I don't know if I would have been able to do what I did if it wasn't for gabapentin. So I think in a real way, gabapentin really helped save my life, and I'm very grateful for it. I don't recommend it to anybody. I don't recommend that maybe somebody try it, or that, you know, it should be a part of everybody's healing journey. But I've seen a lot of people talk about it, and I've had a lot of comments on it, and a lot of people say that they didn't have a good experience with it, or they're wondering what my experience with it was. And you know, to that I say, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a healthcare professional, I'm not a medical professional, so I don't give medical advice. I just share my experience, and if that helps somebody, then that's awesome. That's the only reason I'm making these videos. And so my experiences, it helped me. My experiences, it kept me out of that place where I was in complete and utter psychosis, to where I couldn't function at all, and I was just rolled up in a ball on my little bed in my treatment center with my hood pulled down over my face, rocking back and forth. And it pulled me out of that state and gave me some semblance of normalcy where I could go about my day-to-day life. It didn't miraculously heal all my symptoms. It didn't miraculously make me feel all better, far from it. But it gave me, I think, just enough normalcy that I could kind of go on with my day-to-day. And so maybe that'll help somebody out there. You know, maybe it'll help you too. I don't know. I would say, you know, from everything, from my experience and all the people that I've talked to, we're all a little bit different. And, you know, if it's something that you're interested in that might help you, then I would say talk to your doctor about it, and, you know, do your own research. And, you know, ultimately, it's going to be a matter of, if you take it, how it agrees with you or not. You know, I would never want to recommend anything that would do more damage to somebody in the long run. And so, you know, if you're going down this road and you're struggling a lot, and you're having a lot of problems, and it's really, really tough for you, and, you know, you're kind of against taking anything else, then just keep going. You know, my story doesn't have to be your story. My story is just my story, and then that's my experience with it. So I hope this helps in some way. If you guys have any other ideas for videos, other supplements that I have taken and that I do take today that help me, be glad to share all that with you guys. And much love to y'all, and much healing. Love you guys.